Big night around the NHL in terms of the out-of-town scoreboard. There are a lot of meaningful matchups that we're going to need to be keeping an eye on, starting with the Kraken taking on the Sharks. Hopefully, San Jose can play a little bit of spoiler here for the Edmonton Oilers. They have one win in their last 10 games, so I'm not counting on the San Jose Sharks coming in and playing spoiler for us. But they're taking on the Seattle Kraken. The Kings are taking on the Blue Jackets. Oh, let's look at how the Blue Jackets have done in their last 10. 3 wins in their last 10. So I don't have high hopes for that one either. But the interesting set of matchups, the Jets are taking on the Bruins. The Bruins have somehow lost back-to-back games, including losing 6-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks. The Jets are sputtering right now. They are, after tonight, they could be barely hanging on to the final playoff spot in the West. They're only 4 points up on the Preds. The Jets are playing the Bruins. The Preds are playing the Blackhawks. I don't love the chances of the Hawks winning back-to-back games, if we're being completely honest. There is a chance that by the end of tonight, Nashville is only 2 points back of the Jets with 3 less games played. Man, there has got to be some nervous sweating going on in Winnipeg right now, our friends at Jets Nation.
Yeah, some crazy stuff is happening with Nashville. Who would have thought after essentially blowing up their team in a small portion, right outside of pushing for a playoff spot, and they just got all these extra picks too. They're probably licking their chops at that. So yeah, it's crazy. Winnipeg, like when they top of the Central at one point, or right up there, right?
Yeah,
and
they
now
were.
might fall out of a playoff spot. You honestly, I'm very curious to see what Winnipeg do over these next, maybe even this summer alone. Like it's not been a great time for them recently. So are they gonna move a couple of big pieces? We'll see. Like, what are the contract situations there?
Wheeler's a UFA at the end of the season.
I think he's gone.
Shifley has one, or sorry, Wheeler and Shifley both have one more season, and then they're UFAs.
And Niederreiter also.
Yeah, Niederreiter is one more. They don't really have a ton of like big name UFAs coming, so they could like run it back. The same core, Hellebuck also has one more year left on his deal. Then he's a UFA.
See, the thing is about the NHL now, it's turned a little bit where like players with term are getting moved.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just got Ekholm, so I wonder if they'll just try and cash in on a couple of guys before it's too late.
If you're the Jets, and I know some people might be like, oh, this is rich coming from a guy who lives in Edmonton, but if you're the Jets, you do have to be a little bit nervous of big name players in your market being unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
Like I know Wheeler's from Minnesota, I think, so I know that is like close. But still, like I'd be a hair nervous. Connor Hellebuck's an American too, that these guys aren't going to re-up. They might look to just cash in at some point here or at some point this summer if this season doesn't go well. For the Oilers, I think there is a bit more pressure on them tonight because when you look at the out-of-town scoreboard and you see Seattle and LA both have very, very easy matchups, like you need to find a way to win this game here. Otherwise, you're that much further from LA in all likelihood, and you're letting Seattle leapfrog you again, and they're going to still have a game in hand after that night. Like, big game against a big opponent, and a night where the standings could really change if you don't get 2 points.
Yeah, and it's important setup for the game on Saturday too.
It is.
They need to keep up with Seattle so they can pass them in the direct duel and on Saturday.
That's a great point. Yeah, if you keep pace with Seattle tonight, you get the 2 points over them on Saturday, then boom, you're 3 points up. Doesn't matter what that game in hand does at that point. So a good setup for Saturday.